Namaste and welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity. We're going to continue answering questions from the jar today, or attempting to answer questions from the jar. None of these answers, I must remind you, will be perfect, for I am far from a perfect answerer, speaker, teacher, of anything, any role that you may consider me to be. I don't strive for perfection anymore. I just strive to practice and do the best that I can with this compulsion I have to share what I am learning. So that being said, I am going to reach in. I've got a cactus back here in the way, and I don't want to poke that as I reach back in for the jar. Oh, another big piece of paper. I'm going to take a deep breath and exhale as I find my timer on my watch. It's a rainy day in my part of the world. Beautiful rain. Love the sound of it on the roof, and it's feeding all the flowers in my flower beds outside my windows perfectly and beautifully. So I appreciate the rain. Okay. I'm going to try to make with the writing for this one. I think it's a good question related to money. Why do I not have enough money when others have close to $1 trillion in this world? Why do I not have enough money when others have close to $1 trillion in this world? Wow. I'm going to take another deep breath. That's a big one. We're talking about the equity of wealth, I suppose, and why it doesn't seem to be well distributed throughout the world, right? Why some people have so much and other people have so little. And most of us, when we think about focusing on our own lack of financial well-being in our own little lives, fail to see that there's others who have even less than we have. There's others that are striving to just get a bite to eat and that are dying because of the lack of resources that they have. So I'm not trying to guilt anyone out. I'm just trying to say it helps us to open up our perspective to some extent, to look at this inequity in wealth, or the distribution of wealth in a brighter and wider perspective. And there are people who have close to $1 trillion. We have an individual on our planet who's close to becoming a trillionaire and be the first trillionaire that ever existed, right? Because trillion is such a large number. Can't even imagine that many zeros in our bank accounts. I know I can't. I'm lucky if I have 4. So I understand what the other person is saying, but at the same time, or 3 zeros, I meant to say, 4 digits. I'm lucky if I have that these days, and I'm content with that. It's better than I was a while back with some issues that I had to go through when I went off work. So it's better now than it was. I think the biggest thing, the reason why I don't think it's as important as why we need it to be. Why do we need to have that $1 trillion? Why do we feel like that person has more than me? And why can't I have as much as they have? And why are we focusing on that comparison value of determining how successful we are as human beings, right? Why does that person have so much? And again, I'm not trying to guilt the individual who asked this question out, because that's a question I ask myself all the time. I find myself, the remnants of this ego I have left in me, this personality, was often catch it saying things like, oh my gosh, they have so much. They don't know what it's like to suffer like this. They don't know how hard it is. They don't know how hard I'm having it. Why do they have so much? What are they doing right? What am I doing wrong? Why is life doing this to me and blessing them? You know, I catch myself still saying that again and again and again. And then when I catch myself saying that, I take a deep breath and step back and say, oh, wow, look at this little personality, this little human being is still doing this thing with the, scarcity thinking, and it's still doing the thing with the comparison thing and whatnot. I don't know why people have more money than they do, other than some people work harder, some people are blessed, some people are lucky, if you want to use that word, or some people, I believe, as I come to see when I get deeper, is that this is what they need in their lives right now. This is what they need on their journey, right? That wealth and all the challenges that come with that wealth, because in our minds we're just thinking the wealth is the answer, but there's so many challenges and struggles and inner demons to have to face when we get that wealth, right? It's not easy being wealthy as we tend to think it is. There's all kinds of complicated emotions and issues that arise when we get to a certain level of wealth that most of us will never understand. So it's not so much why am I not having the same thing? This is what the person got, what they needed at this time. They needed to go through those challenges. They needed to have that blessing. They needed to have that in their life so they would learn. And us, with the lack of wealth, or maybe less than wealth, I hate to use the word lack and scarcity, but that seem to have less than in comparison to others, have exactly what we need. We have exactly what we need on this journey. When it comes to any of the things we're facing, any things that we have or don't have, we have exactly what we need on this journey. And if we could trust that, this is part of our life mission, to experience money, consciousness gets to experience through us this level of financial well-being or this level of financial struggle, right? And it's wow, yeah, it's great. Let's let consciousness experience it. The lack of money is not who we are. The lack of money is not something that's going to stick with us forever. Everything ebbs and flows in life, Some days we'll be more comfortably financially and other days we won't be. Some days we'll be up, some days we'll be down. It's just the way in movement, the ebb and flow of life. And these people who have $1 trillion may lose it all. And then we'll have an even harder way to fall. And it'll be even more challenging for them because they have to deal with lack that they've maybe never before experienced. So it's like everything has its challenges and everything has its blessings. And every experience in life is just that, an experience for consciousness to have. So whether consciousness is experiencing what it's like to be a trillionaire, or consciousness is experiencing what it's like to struggle to pay the bills, or in some worst case scenario, struggle to get a bit of food to stay alive with. And we got to be mindful of that, broader perspective of financial wealth. It's just money. It's not reality. It's just money. It's just a thing. It's not equivalent to your level of well-being in your life, though we tend to assume that it is, tend to assume that money's going to fix all our problems if we have it. But it doesn't. It's not an issue. It's just an exterior world phenomenon, and who we are is much deeper than how much money we have, how we have on our bank account. Who we are is here to experience life. And when you think about the bounty and abundance of life, it's everywhere. It's in the flowers that are growing outside of my window box right now. It's in the trees, or the leaves are abundant with leaves. It's in the birds. I have an abundant amount of birds in my yard singing every day when I wake up. It's the buzzing of insects. It's the wind through the trees. It's just the greenery I see around me when I look outside. It's the love I have around me, the family that I have, the support that I have. It's the laughter, it's the giggles from grandchildren. It's the barking and affection from dogs that we receive, from cats on our laps. It's when we get a meal that we enjoy the taste of, and we can savor that meal. It doesn't have to be filet mignon every day. It can be whatever. It's in the sunsets we get to witness. It's in the stars in the sky, which are abundant, right? The galaxies themselves are abundant, and in every star there is a solar system. It has its own solar system, and we just think about the amount of abundance in this world that we get to be a part of. Money is such a limited part of it. So yes, some people will have trillions of dollars and it doesn't seem fair, but we have to remove that unfairness from it and say it's exactly what we need as this individuated beam of consciousness needs, so that consciousness can experience this through us. So it's experiencing the $1 trillion through some people, it's experiencing this through me, and it's okay. Money's not going to bring happiness. Money's not going to bring suffering. Money just is. It's just a phenomenon of this world. And by all means, go out and make more money if you feel like you need more money. Try to manifest it if you want to do that thing. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just money. It's just currency. It's just a vibration, that maybe we don't feel worthy enough for. And that's another reason why sometimes we don't seem to have enough, is because we have this internal dialogue going on. There's such a core belief that we are not worthy of money, and we're self-sabotaging our ability to get money. Or we have these beliefs that money is evil, so we don't seek it or accept it when it comes our ways, or we're resisting, our own financial wealth in some subconscious way. So look, just kind of discover, well, maybe that's why you don't feel like you have enough money. Maybe that's it. Explore that. Go inward. Find out why you don't have the money. Ask that question. Not so much why do they have more money. Why don't I have money? What am I doing to myself that I don't have that abundance? I can have that abundance too. And instead of looking at the other person with jealousy, say, I want that too. And go for it. Instead of saying, oh, they're bad, they must have done this, and they're going to do that, and they're not fair. Oh, I want that too. And I'm going to go for it. And go for it. Sure. Why not? It's not going to kill anybody. It's just money. But try to go a little deeper when you can and realize it's not really the money you want. You want what you think the money's going to give you. That peace of mind and that sense of security and sense of safety that we erroneously believe that money will give us. And it won't. So maybe even go deeper and ask for that. Well, I like to have the peace of mind that I assume the money would give me, with or without the money, with or without that. And then you do the inner work inside of understanding why, first of all, you're blocking that, and understand this is a peace I'm longing for, and it doesn't come with anything in this physical world. It's much deeper than that. And we start looking toward those types of wealth and that type of success rather than the financial. But by all means, if you see somebody with $1 trillion, I want that too, go for it. Maybe not $1 trillion, but maybe you'll get your abundance, and maybe life will be easier for you, and maybe you'll find joy in having the money. And then just realize it was never the money. It was what you thought the money would give you, right? And be happy for the people who have money. Be happy for the people who are happy more than the people who have money. Look around you and see who's happy in your life, who seems to be joyous and full of life and vitality. And what do they have that makes them that way? And that's the currency you want, right? That joy. And then when you look at it, and look at further at why they have joy, you realize that joy is in me, the joy is in them, the joy is in me, the joy is in the person with the $1 trillion, even if they're miserable. The joy is in the person who's starving, even though they don't realize it. The joy is within, regardless of the set of circumstances that we are given in this life to flow through and experience. The joy is within. It's not the currency, not the external form of money that's giving us that joy. It's already within us, and we need to find it now. That is worth $1 trillion, that joy. Whether you have $10 in your account or $1 trillion, it's the joy that we want, and the joy that's already within us that we just simply need to tap into. My watch is going off like crazy. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Namaste.